Hi, it's Kirsty Terry, and today's video is video 2 of a series of 4, the top 6 toxic foods. Let's jump straight in and dispel some of the food industry and marketing myths so you can understand exactly how your food is impacting your health. So let's start with sugar, and we need sugar to function. It's not a toxin like a mercury, but it can affect your body in the same way. And it's the amount of processed sugar hidden in foods which is a problem. They are empty calories. We've become addicted to hyper-processed, hyper-palatable food-like substances that have hijacked our taste buds, our hormones, our brain chemistry and our metabolism. Sugar and flour, processed foods, are highly biologically addictive. In fact, sugar has now been proven to be 8 times as addictive as cocaine. And let's talk about artificial sugars, because there is nothing nutritious or healthy about soft drinks, even when they've had the sugar removed and been artificially sweetened with products like aspartame or acesulfame K. Artificial sugars are really toxic synthetic chemicals that mimic sugar, but your body sees them as an invader. Your brain interprets the sweetness and releases a hormonal response, and your body is now waiting for real sugar. It doesn't get it, so guess what? It craves more. So what we really need to do is look at how we can get the more natural sugars in the diet. But processed sugar and high fructose corn sugar is cheap, and it's very cheap for the food industry to use it in its products. So have a look at how much sugar there is in foods labelled as healthy. Kids' breakfast cereals are a classic one, your processed foods and your smoothies. So there's natural sugar in fruits and vegetables and products like honey. And these products, they have the fibre, they've got the vitamins and they've got the minerals. So where you can, replace your sugary foods with a piece of fruit. Replace your sodas with fruit tea and your fruit juices with freshly juiced fruits and vegetables. These will still contain the enzymes to aid digestion, which normally have been pasteurised out of the commercial bought products. And I want to move on to fat. And low fat does not mean healthy. But look at this plate of food. This is what I call dead food. And it's been cooked in what's known as partially hydrogenated or trans fatty acids. And it's the partially hydrogenated or trans fats and oils which are toxic to your cells and can cause so many health problems. So much so they now have to appear on the label. It's the processing of these fats which destroys the antioxidants, the good stuff, and creates free radicals, the bad, which become oxidized. That means it turns rancid when they're subjected to heat, oxygen and moisture, as when we're cooking or processing them. And it's these partially hydrogenated oils and fats which are found in the processed foods, fried foods, margarine, processed snack foods such as crisps and microwave popcorn, and your baked goods, your cookies, your cakes and your pastries. But we do need fats in the diet. And we need the essential fatty acids. These are the building blocks for our cell membranes and a variety of our hormones. So for example, avocado, olive, coconut, and then nuts and seeds. So let's dispel the fat and sugar myths. Low fat does not mean healthy. The diet industry was built upon the fact that fat makes us fat, and it was because of the link with coronary heart disease. But this was fat like the partially hydrogenated fats and the trans fats that I've talked about earlier. Have a look at these two products. You've got your total Greek yogurt at 0% fat, and you've got your Rachel's. Now they've got similar amounts of calories. The Greek yogurt's got 112 calories per serving, but it's got 19.6 grams of sugar, versus your Rachel's at 115 calories, which still has its fat in it at 9 grams, and the sugar is only 5 grams. For anyone who wants to lose weight, get this. It's the amount of sugar in our diet that makes us fat, not fat. And then there's another myth, and it's the salt myth. So, white table salt is a mixture of processed toxic chemicals, and these cause inflammation in the digestive tract. And all the studies that have been done are actually done on table salt. But if you replace your table salt with either a Celtic sea salt or a Himalayan crystal salt, which are harvested from naturally occurring salt deposits and contain many trace minerals, these are essential for health. And I want to move on to GMO crops. It is not healthy to inject the DNA from pesticides or viruses into plant matter. And the biggies to worry about here are the corn, the soy, and the sugar beet. GMO links to tumours, liver failure and kidney failure, and they also kill off the probiotics in our gut, which is one of our most important detoxifiers. So back to our plate of dead food, and these packaged and processed foods contain high amounts of high fructose corn sugar to cornstarch and corn powder. If you think those chicken nuggets, the chickens have been raised on corn, and then the products are packed with high fructose corn sugar and cornstarch and corn powders. And they're just not healthy. And then we take them and we go and cook them in trans fats. So do you still want to eat what's on that plate? Now another big myth here is soy. Soy has been labelled as a superfood for years, but it is highly toxic to the body. And in fact, it mimics estrogen in the body, which can cause huge hormone imbalances. But there are forms of fermented soy, like miso, tamari sauces and fermented soybeans, which are good for you. But a quality soy sauce has been fermented for 18 months, whereas your shop-bought commercial product has probably gone through a 2-day process. And then gluten. So the traditional methods of baking bread, which included soaking and sprouting and souring grains to make them digestible and nutritious, have been abandoned for a fast mass production type of food. Most people are aware that white bread is highly processed wheat flour that has had all the good removed and has left nothing. But whole wheat bread was promoted as the healthy alternative. Yet gluten intolerance is now 30 times more prevalent than celiac disease. And it can cause all the digestive symptoms we've previously talked about, but there are lots of alternatives. So look for your sprouted or your sourdoughs or your soda breads, and replace your gluten products with oats or rice or millet, buckwheat or quinoa. And watch out for gluten-free products as well. They can be a bit crumbly, and they can also contain a lot of additives. So just again, watch the labels and make sure you're not replacing one bad thing with another. So moving on to dairy. Dairy intolerance is another big one. The naturally occurring enzymes in milk which aid digestion are destroyed as part of the pasteurization process. Cows can be injected with growth hormones and a cocktail of chemicals, including antibiotic drugs. And this isn't just for dairy products, think about your meat products also. But the good alternatives for cow's milk, such as dairy-free, coconut, rice, oat, or almond milk. And then if you think about your cheeses, you can go with goat's cheese or raw milk cheese if you can tolerate it, or some of the harder cheeses which have less of the milk proteins in them. Fermented dairy products such as kefir and yogurt are fantastic for your health. They're probiotic and will really help you boost your immunity. And this is one area where I really would recommend going organic. Now, organic food is not nutritionally any better in terms of taste, but it doesn't have the chemicals, the fertilizers, the insecticides or weed killers, and there are no growth hormones, antibiotics or medications to enhance. Buying from your local farmers market will support and sustain the local farmers, but if you go to a supermarket and you're buying a product that's been flown thousands of miles, you really need to think of how does that benefit. So the compromise is to buy any kind of locally grown organic produce whenever possible and when it's available. And this is for the foods that you eat most frequently. So today's free gift, I'd like to share with you what I call my healthy food shopping list. And this is something that you can print out and take with you to the supermarket or your local Whole Foods, and it's all the things you should buy and keep in your cupboard. And it's removed all the allergens or all the toxic type foods. So please print off this list, go shopping and have some fun. And then in the next free video, I'm going to talk about the top 10 foods to include in your diet to be nourished, healthy and toxic free. And don't be surprised if some of these are on the healthy shopping list. So again, thanks for listening to me today. And any questions, please email me at kirsty@equilibrium-health.com, or please join the Facebook group Cleanse, Nourish and Heal.